Nobody is going to pay you because you are a farmer. They will pay you because you have something of value to sell.
Irrespective of who you are, your political affiliation, your religious inclination, whatever it is you do, we all have one thing in common, and that is food.
Farmer Samson is a seasoned farmer who has trained over 10,000 other farmers. He's a team lead at the soilless farmland where, with the use of technology, plants are grown without soil. He has been recognized by various platforms, including the CNN and the BBC. He has over 10 years of experience in this space. So what are the 5 things that every farmer should know about farming in Nigeria?
The environment will shock you.
So just to say to you that I've always said it to you, so I'll say it here on air, that I've always been very impressed today.
Thank you. Hello and welcome to another episode of Business Fix. My name is Olayemi Olajide, CEO of the Market Food Shop, and today I'll be discussing the business of farming with Farmer Samson Ogbole. Farmer Samson is a seasoned farmer who has trained over 10,000 other farmers. He's a team lead at the soilless farmland where, with the use of technology, plants are grown without soil. He has been recognized by various platforms, including the CNN and the BBC. He has over 10 years of experience in this space. Hello, Farmer Samson. Thank you so much for having us on the farm today.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, I guess I'll just start with all the questions. So, there's this clip of you that I saw on LinkedIn where I think it was a clip from the training where you were telling your students that they should practice agribusiness and not agriculture. And that brings me to my first question. So what are the 5 things that every farmer should know about farming in Nigeria?
Yeah, so the 5 things I would say every farmer should know about farming first and foremost is understand business. I always tell people that a good farmer and a bad businessman will remain poor. A good businessman but a bad farmer will be rich. So first, understand business. Understand what it means to sell that thing you are doing. Nobody is going to pay you because you are a farmer. They will pay you because you have something of value to sell.
Okay.
That is number 1. Number 2 is understand what is called the right work ethics. Like I always tell people, if you study the scripture, it talks about the fact that God blessed them, told them, be fruitful, multiply, and all of that. So interpretation, God gave man work first before any other thing. So there is the right work ethics when it comes to farming. And like we'd always say on the farm, we do not close because it is evening, we close because the job is done. So you need to understand that as a farmer. Number 3 is understand the environment where you want to grow. It's very important. You cannot say, I studied in the US, I want to go and become a farmer in Nigeria. The environment will shock you. So you need to understand the environment. Number 4, understand the crop. Number 5, understand your limits.
So when you say understand your limits, like how do you mean?
So take for instance, I am a farmer.
Okay.
I don't like, what is the word now? I am not naturally disposed to being a social person. Okay. Now, becoming a farmer that needs to sell does not automatically mean that now I am social. I still need to understand that this is where my limit is. My limitation as a person will be expressed in my business. So if I need to hire, I need to hire to cover that weakness. So I need to understand my limits before I step into the whole farming profession as a business.
Okay. With farming, when you invest in farming, it will usually take a while before you can recover whatever you've invested. So, because I know that funding is a major issue for farmers, what are the available options for farmers to fund their business?
The first available option is your personal funds. That is the best funding you can use. And let me say that when it comes to funding your business, we must understand that funding is not just about money. There is something we call human capital. You might have access to people that can give you things you don't need to buy. So in funding, I always say there are 3 levels to this thing. There are things you can get for free. Okay. There are things you can pay for later. There are things you must pay for now. Unfortunately, a lot of people who come into farming wants to pay for everything at once. So you need to differentiate, what can I pay for now, what can I pay for later, what can I get for free. That is fundamental. Then of course, use your money. Second is use other people's money, but don't use other people's money to test what you want to do. Use other people's money to multiply the results you have gotten before. This is where some people make mistakes. When you get that with other people's money, that is when you are qualified to go to financial institute, because financial institutions' money is to scale up the results you have gotten, not to practice. So you're not going to a bank to say, I want to take money to try out this. No, they are not there to do tryouts. They are not an NGO trying to do philanthropic and work. They are there to make money. And for them, there is something called cost of funds. What will it cost me to borrow you money for pepper farm versus what will it cost me to give somebody the same money for oil? So which one makes more money? So if my business model is not profitable enough to compete with other businesses, I will not get the money. If I get the money, I will run into trouble. Then of course, finally, the last level of money is governmental support, either in form of money, leverage, backing, policies. That's the highest form of money you can get.
Are there? But what I heard from what you just said now is that don't experiment with other people's money.
No, use your own money for experiments.
Then after that, then you can then proceed to
take other people's funds.
Are there organizations, bodies, or banks that you would recommend to farmers in Nigeria that require?
No, go and test them out. Nobody is paying me to advertise them. Where will I call your name? Okay. Go and try your luck. Do tombo. If you feel, start again.
Okay. My next question.
Or the person I would always advise is your parents. They want you to succeed, so they'll probably give you that leeway to fail multiple times. Yeah.
How can farmers use technology to become more profitable?
For me, I always tell people that technology is an enabler. The first question for me is, how can you be more profitable? Then find a technology that brings efficiency in that process. The first choice is not technology. The first choice is, what is the model? What will make me more profitable? So maybe I've realized, I spend 10 naira every day. I'll give you an example, a true life story. I have a friend who owns a farm, and he says every day they need to hire, I think, about 40 or 50 young people to come and hit pangolo, that is an empty cans in the rice farm, to drive away birds. Now, that is the issue. And he knows, if there is a technology that can help me do this, I will save this amount of money in a rice growing season. Based on that, he now said, okay, can we get a drone that makes the same kind of noise, they call it that ultrasonic noise, that can chase the birds away? So the technology is saving him money of getting pangolo hitters. But the technology was not the first thing he identified. He understood his process, now saw the things that takes money from his input, and now started thinking, what can technology do to reduce this thing that is taking money? In our own case is, we need a lot of people to work the farm, to clean the farm. What can I do? What are these people really doing on the farm? They are weeding. Is there a technology I can use to stop people from weeding? There is weed mats. But the first thing is not technology, is understanding the model and knowing what is taking money from me. Is there something that technology can do to reduce what takes money?
Okay. There is one issue, because at the Market Food Shop we get a lot of emails and messages from people, looking for trying to sell their produce. So how can farmers find buyers for their produce?
Know what the buyers are looking for. There are a lot of buyers, but most people don't understand what their buyers want. You see, there is this mistake farmers make of assuming they are the buyers, and they produce like they are the only type of market or the only kind of customers in the market. Go and ask the buyers what they want. Figure out their pain point. People don't buy tomatoes, they buy stew. People are not buying egusi, they are buying soup. So you need to understand what is their actual pain point. That you are producing tomatoes does not mean it is coming when they want to cook. So, like I always tell my guys, that when it comes to looking at the market, always assume that your market is dumb and lazy. If you can have that mindset, it allows you to think properly how to assess the market. I'll give you an example. I always ask my guys this question of, if I gave you, I don't know if there is iPhone 20 now, but if I gave you a new iPhone 20
Okay.
It looks like a good gift, right? What if the iPhone 20 came with a manual of about 20,000 pages and without reading the 20,000 pages you can't use the phone? Will you collect it?
There's no point.
Why? Customers by default are lazy. I want a product I can use easily.
Yeah.
I want a product that will not stress me. That is why if I go to the market and I want to buy ugu, I'm looking for the woman that will slice. It's a pointer to my laziness. But the market person is coming to sell tomatoes in a difficult way. You are wondering why they are not buying. Why will I buy from you as the farmer when there is a woman in the market that has helped me clean it up partially? So we need to start thinking of how do I use my product to help the customer, not the other way around. How will the customer buy from me?
How does my product solve a problem for them?
For the customer, yes.
Okay. And what are the top 5 top mistakes you see Nigerian farmers make?
I think it's like the 5 top mistakes is people assume that my grandfather did it so I can do it. Farming is not inheritable. you don't learn farming by proxy. So it's the equivalent of saying, I'm supposed to tell you I've always been on the farm so I know farming. No, that's like saying I've always slept close to a car garage so I'm not a car. No. You learn farming by farming. That's number 1, a fundamental mistake. Number 2, when people are going into farming, they assume that just because I have understood this thing on 1 acre, I can grow to 200 acres. That's not farming, that's GBT. Okay. Because as your farm gets bigger, there are problems you would never experience in 1 acre that will show up. So we need to understand as farmers, what does scale really mean in my business? Number 3, we need to build farms. The other major mistake is people don't build farm as a business. They build it as a survival mode, as poverty alleviation. No, you need to build your farm as a business. Number 4, nobody cares about the size of your farm. What are you selling? We must be people who are committed to selling. We must be committed to selling. Number 5, we must build a brand around the farm. It is brand that has right to call their price. If you are not a brand, we will buy your product based on our evaluation of you as a farmer, not the crop.
So the perception that you build for your farm
matters a lot.
Okay. Can you share 5 myths people have about farming?
5 myths. Everybody eats, so I will sell.
Okay.
Like, you farming. Just produce on my judge.
I made that mistake when I started business.
Everybody eats, so we will sell. That's number 1 major myth. Number 2, farmers are meant to be illiterate, old, and uneducated.
Okay.
And dirty.
Okay.
That is a big myth. Number 3, there is no money in farming. You just go to farming and lose money. No, there is money in farming. I always give this example of there are 200 million Nigerians. If we assume a Nigerian spend 1,000 naira per day, that's about 2 billion naira per day on food. Multiply that for a year. So that is a big myth. Then another one would be farming is easy. I mean, you hear a lot of people that have never entered the farm. Just take the seed, dig, plant, it will come out.
Pour water, it will
grow. Well done, Holy Ghost part 2. Number 5, another big myth around agriculture. Agriculture can absorb everybody, just come in. We need more farmers. That's a big myth. Developed countries are known by fewer farmers. The more developed a country is, the fewer the farmers are. The more underdeveloped a country is, the more the farmers are.
Okay, that's very interesting. What are the basic things farmers need to know about farm management? Because I've seen people that will set up farms and leave the country, and they want to have a system of management. Yeah, so
farming is a business. Treat your farm the way you would treat any other business. Treat it the way you would treat give it the respect it deserves. If you are going to do farm management, if you are not going to be the person managing your farm yourself, don't hire laborers and put there. Get a proper person that understands management to manage the farm and pay them well. All these things of people looking for cheap laborers up and down, that's why you are not making money. Good thing costs money. Pay them well, pay for quality service, you will get quality, output at the end of the day. So, yeah.
Okay, so when they are hiring, what should they be looking out for? Even aside farm managers, like other staff?
If you are going to hire, first, before you hire, ask yourself, what value are you looking for? It's like somebody asking, if I want to open an oil company, what should I look out for?
Okay.
If really you are serious about the money you are investing, you know what you want to look out for. There is knowledge, there is traction. What's the history of this person? What have they done? Why are they living where they were? I mean, some people may see this as controversial. You cannot hire an agronomist and you are paying him 100K and you want your produce to survive. You are high. The agronomist that is earning 100K from you needs 3 other farms to manage to make sure he can survive.
Yeah.
You must ask yourself, am I paying my workers well enough for them to have a shot at a decent life? If the answer is no, the person you have hired cannot give you the money you are looking for. If they give you the money you are looking for is for a while, they just use you as training ground. Once they get the basics, they will run to the person that will pay them well. So you'll be having a lot of people coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. Retainership is low.
Okay. There was this video you shared on LinkedIn where it was a video of a truck that you had loaded with ginger and fell off the road. So can you just share like a true story of how you've been able to overcome a particularly difficult time in farming?
It's life. Farming is one of the best things that can happen to you. You do everything right and things go wrong. That's the beauty of agriculture. We had some produce coming from the north to a client and the driver decided it was time to tumble. And it happened. We had to pay people to repack, to take it back to clean and do all of that. It's business. I remember a while back when I started, I was working there with another company. Sure, even in this my company, we did crowdfunding. We had done all our S plus Y plus Z. This will come, this will come, this will come, that will come. But we forgot to tell the pumping machine don't spoil. It happens. And when that happened, all the produce died in our eyes.
Wow.
Because the pumping machine was all these very good imported pumping machines, so nobody around understood how to repair it. They were like, oh, we'll send you videos, and those guys in, I don't want to call the country, are awesome. They sent us video on how to repair, but it was in their language. So we were watching video, we were more confused. And at the end, crops died. And you cannot be telling customers, sorry, crowdfund, people that you took money from, They don't care, it's your headache.
Wow.
So we had to start looking for, okay, we took every odd job. You want to do garden, we'll come and set up for you. We'll come and set up.
To pay people back?
Yes. We want to do this, we will set up for you. What is your service fee? Our service fee is 500K. It's only 50K I have. 50K is better than nothing more. So yeah. Okay.
So aside growing to sell, can you share other streams of income that are available to farmers?
Yes, I mean, you have a lot. You can do consultancy, you can do aggregation from other farmers to sell, you can do training, you can do knowledge transfer by writing books on what you're doing. You can have, it's weird that we don't have any farm. I think we should probably start that too soon. You should probably have a YouTube place where a farmer talks about real life experiences on the farm, and YouTube pays you because of your good traction. So there are lots of streams. You can become the painter farmer. You can be the dancing farmer. There are lots of things you can do. You can be the person that is a farmer but show people how to use produce correctly. You can be the person that tells them how to save their seeds, how to do storage. There are lots of things you can do. You are a farmer, you can create recipe. You can even grow crops and change their taste. Imagine these bell peppers you're looking at, they look beautiful. What if somebody decided to start a business where he grows bell peppers in pots, in flower pots, and when they are ready when they start flowering like this, you sell it out. People will buy because Nigerians like shortcut. Like, I may not grow pepper. Wow.
I have a garden in my house.
I have a garden in my house where I'm growing pepper. You forgot to tell them you didn't plant seed. That you just bought pepper that was already flowering. So there are lots of things you can do.
With technology, is there still use for old farming practices? And if yes, what's the meeting point between old
with technology? Is there? So this is the reality. Is there a need for old farming technologies? No. So let's put it in perspective. Hoes and cutlass came out in the era where we were writing with ink and a feather.
Okay.
They came out at the same time. How would you feel like if you enter a bank and they gave you a barrel of ink and feather? You'd be like, what's this? So when a government in any form distributes hoes and cutlass, it shows the level of unseriousness and backwards thinking. Now, you also need to look at what can hoes and cutlass produce. The reason why our farmers are poor is not because they are not knowledgeable most of the time. It is because their tools are bad. So their tools are providing the wealth of the 60s for them to try to survive in 2023. Only work, that's why they are broke. Because the tools of the past required a lot of human effort and little brain.
Labor intensive.
Labor intensive. The tools of today requires more brain, less labor intensive. There are machines to do the things. So there is that big, what's the word now? Disconnect between what is needed and what is available. Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, president of AFDB, said it perfectly. He said, hose and cutlass are meant to be in the museum. They are things you're supposed to be saying, oh, hey, babe, this is what we used to use in 10 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Not what you are saying. No, come on.
Okay, so can you tell us more about what you do at Soilless Farm Lab?
We are farmers. We use technology as an enabler. That's all we do.
Okay, so what sustainable farm practices should farmers be paying attention to in these times?
Whatever gives you money.
Okay.
Pay attention to it. Whatever ensures you are not broke. Pay attention. It can be technology, it can be selling technique, it can be marketing technique, it can be social media. Whatever ensures you are not broke.
Okay. How can young farmers find mentorship and guidance in farming?
They should go and serve. Stop becoming CEO without service. You've not served on any farm. What are you seeing? You're not CEO anything. Go and serve first. Go and stay under somebody. Go and learn.
Okay. How can farmers stay relevant and up to date with changes that are happening in this space?
Read. Go online. Follow. Stop watching. I don't want to call some programs.
Okay.
Watch life-giving programs. You will see what's happening.
So because it's garbage in, garbage out.
Yes, now it's what you have you will sell.
Yeah.
If you have been watching, and then that's what you will bring out. So.
Who are you currently learning a lot from, and what are you learning from that person?
I have a lot of people. I have African Farmer Mortgagee, the ability to transcend from African country to African country.
Okay.
We have Mr. Niji of Niji Farms,
okay.
Mr. Niji Kolawole.
Okay.
I'm learning a lot. I'm trying to understand the economics of the world through him, to understand that the policies that makes you succeed in Nigeria will kill you in Canada, will frustrate you in the US. I'm learning that.
Okay.
I'm learning from Pastor Debono Fowora of BIC Farm, what it means to manage a conglomerate from afar by proxies, how to set up systems that you don't have to be available to monitor.
Okay.
I'm learning that. So it's a lot. I'm learning what it means to stay true to your calling even when there is no money in that call on the immediate. From Okpe Farm, I mean, Mommy Okpe has been doing organic and you're like, yeah, and she's like, this is what it is. And it took a while. People now, their head is turning to come back and come to it. So there are lots of people. It's not about one thing. It's about understanding. I mean, it's not just about learning from the elderly. It's learning from the likes of Akin Alabi, of corporate farmers. I mean, how to deal with politicians, how to stay in the midst of politics, because if you don't stay in the midst of politics, you do not have access to the policies when they are being made.
Yeah.
So it's learning a lot from a lot of people. There is a Femi farmer, integrated precision, that's a flying farmer. I'm learning from him. I mean, the ability, I'm a shy person. I'm not that person that wants to go on stage and speak. And I listen to this guy speak, I'm like, Ododuoro. And the guy takes time to rehearse and practice for everyone's speaking event. I'm like, okay. And he gives it that zest. Learning from the likes of Cattle Food, the power to dream. I mean, Madam Kato, Madam Lebele, I know she sees this, she's going to break my head. She's smallish and petite. But when you hear her talking about the dreams and all of that, you're like, you won't know. If the private jet, here we just stay in the private jet. 15 of you will stay on one seat. But it's that ability to dream. So it's from a lot of people. It's how they see agriculture bigger than just the farm. How they see agriculture. I mean, there is Mommy Umoru, Pretty Miss Farmer.
Yeah, I interned with her some years ago.
Awesome. Who sees agriculture as a generational thing. She does not just see it as make money now. Is create a part of sustainable wealth that even your children's children that never met you will come back and eat from what you have set as a structure. Yeah, I'm learning a lot.
So what I hear is, it's all about, it's not just one person. It's like picking.
Yes, because everybody has their area of strength. So if you stay in one place and say, I'm only learning what you are doing, you will come back and become a kwashokot success. Because you are successful but deficient in many areas. all of these other people carry grace in their different areas. So it's your ability to start connecting and to connect to these people you serve. So it's not like you're going to have a class to say, sit down. This is non-question for 101. No. But as you see them, you see how they react to things, how they relate to things. Then as they are talking, you probably get to have the opportunity to ask a question. Mommy, why did you do this? Daddy, why did you do this? They're like, oh, this is because of this. This is because of that. It starts to make complete sense that, oh, this is how this is done.
So finally, I just want to ask you like a few quick questions. Just don't think too much. Just yeah. So if you were to meet one of the two, Bill Gates or Elon Musk, who would you go for?
I'll meet Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, okay. Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg.
Jeff Bezos.
Okay. Tony Elumelu, Dangote.
Ah, this one is hard because they are both in agri. So,
okay.
Let me pick Tony Elumelu because of his yuppie lifestyle dressing.
Okay, same thing my brother said. Okay, tea or coffee?
This is weird.
Okay.
Pass. I know I'm not a fan of dinner.
Breakfast or dinner?
Who jumps breakfast?
Oh, people still eat breakfast.
Breakfast.
Are you a sneakers person or you like trekkers?
It's the boat. If there was shoe, that's no.
Okay. How do you like to read? Hard copy. Okay.
Soft copy feels like you are pretending to read.
Yeah, still old school then.
I'm old school.
Road trips or flights?
I hate traveling.
Okay.
Whether road, flight, you know.
Which do you prefer, administrative activities or operations?
I like hands-on operations, but now I'm forced to stay in administrative, but I prefer operations, hands-on.
Okay.
Night person.
Yeah, a night person.
I love working at night. Here people have slept, so nobody disturb you.
Facebook or Instagram?
Twitter.
So neither of the two. Okay. Google search or ChatGPT?
Google search for now, because ChatGPT still has a lot of limitations. It has not gotten to 2023 in its understanding of
I totally agree with you. Emails or direct messages?
Emails, so I can have the opportunity to decide not to answer.
Okay. Phone calls or text?
Text.
Okay. Exercise or meditation?
I'm too lazy for the two.
Wow. Okay. Which do you prefer, Buhari's government or Jonathan?
Both were good at their different levels. So which do I prefer? And all of them were good. I mean, like I always say, I cannot criticize people whose shoes I have not got into.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it means to be bad at their level.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Farmer. Thank you so much, Farmer Samson, for having us here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please go and like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you so much. See you again soon.